Hey guys, it's Mousy and I am here with another forum roleplay review. Today I am reviewing Silent Streams, which is for the user of the same number over at RPGD, which is where I've got my review shop. And this is a Harry Potter based roleplay. I actually don't know very much about it yet, so I tend to do these. I load up the site, I start the recording, and so what you're getting here is exactly my process of going through a site. Like, there is nothing here that is pre-planned or anything. I haven't read through the site first. I haven't got a list of notes sitting here. These are my reactions as I'm coming across them, and the first one that is jumping out at me, and it's probably just because I'm a weirdo, is why is that icon spinning? None of the other icons are spinning. It's really, really bothering me that this one moves and the others don't. So that's the sort of person I am. I'm a little bit weird, but I love the purple and the green. I love purple and green together. It's so awesome. Okay, so let's have a bit of a look. Did I load it up in Edge? Yes, I did. So it looks pretty much the same in Edge. It jumps around a bit on the scroll. I'm a little confused now. Okay, hang on. Let's go back to Chrome. Chrome is happy. So you can see it's still jumping around a little bit. You've got a very sudden color jump here, which is a bit disconcerting in some ways. So possibly carrying that purple through here, make these green. I don't know. Somehow tie them in with what you've got with your existing color scheme, because this is a little bit. It doesn't look like you've done it intentionally. It does look a little bit unfinished, so that's something to consider. Yeah, because that does not look right to me. But you know, I am one person, and as I should say at the top of all of my review videos, anything that I say is purely what I would do differently if I was to run the board. It is by absolutely no means the rules that you should follow to have a successful board. The only rule in running a board is to make something that you love, and do not let anyone else tell you that what you love is wrong, because there will be people out there that are like dying to play the same way that you do, but those boards aren't out there because everyone's like, no, that's not the cool way to do things. So yeah, make what you love and do it without shame. Just, yeah, so don't listen to me too much, but yeah. One thing I've noticed already is you've got the PM code there, um, which is in your headers, your board wrappers. If you put a space in between there, before and after the percentage mark, that will actually become the key for PMs, and it will disappear from there, and it will actually load the private messages when there is one to be read. That's what that's there for. But because it's missing those two spaces, it's not reading it correctly, so you will need to change that. Now, I'm loving the simplicity of this skin. It's amazing. This is nice and old school and just beautiful. I love it. I love it. It's not overly complicated. I'm so done with overly complicated skins that have got too many features and no one really knows what to do with them, and it's overwhelming at times. So seeing something nice, up and down, simple forum based sort of setup is just, it's unusual and it's good. It's a good unusual. Cause yeah, you can get very caught up in things that are super pretty but not especially useful. So doing away with that is always good. As you mentioned in your review request, you've recently moved over from Pro Boards. Well, not recently, but you were on Pro Boards previously, and you've moved over to JSync, which I personally do not enjoy Pro Boards. I don't know what it is about me and them. We just don't get along. Even though I started on Pro Boards, well, I didn't. I started on PHP BB. But yeah, Pro Boards was the second forum that I was part of, and that was back when they were really, really basic and really trashy, and before Envision Free, actually. Um, so yeah, I love JSync. There's so much that you can do with it that is functional and not just pretty. But yeah, I love what you've got. Like how this looks is quite fantastic. You got your toggle C box, because who doesn't have a toggle C box these days? I don't have a toggle C box. I'm not trendy enough. Um, it's a very small toggle C box, so maybe widen that out. I don't know, or even not toggle it. Try not toggling it. Put it at the bottom here. I love a C box at the bottom. I love to be able to read through conversations, and that's just me. That's how I do things. That's how I've always done that. I've always had the C box at the bottom. So yeah, I don't know. That's probably just trash advice. It's very simply what I do. So announcements and suggestions. What have we got here? What's my birthday? I have to scroll down to get to my birthday now. This is like, I feel old. I know I don't have to put my actual birthday in, but whatever. I'm not a liar, okay? Okay, so we've got premium. Ah, yes, cool. Alright, so that's just an announcement saying that we're premium. Sweet! I love premium. I don't even really know why I went premium, except that no adverts makes me really happy. Okay. So, rules and information. This is where you find out the most about a board. It's all in how it's presented and how it's worded. So, okay. Okay, so we're just at the cusp of he must who not be named returning. So that's cool. Yes, dot points and numbered lists, and oh, it's like you know how to make me happy. So you can cut these down a little bit, um, or even bring them into different points because you've got, create different accounts for your characters, and then you go on to the time period that you expect people to register within, um, and your character limits and all that sort of stuff. Like that's a lot of information for one dot point. And same with your canon character schedules, and then you've gone into post templates, which are completely unrelated, plot pages, that sort of thing. So you might need to cut that down a little bit um, and just reorganize it a little bit better. This is a very long list. Um, so generally what I have in terms of my rules is, let's go have a look. I'll show you. So I call mine expectations and conduct. So you've got your registration rules, applying, playing, activity, graphical rules, behavior, and advertising. So those headings generally cover everything that I need to mention, and it does so without making it hugely overwhelming. Um, again, my favorite dot points. Um, so yeah, so a layout like that can go a long way to cutting down some of this text block. Um, And just, yeah, if there's ever a rule that you're not sure you need it, just dump it. Like you can always bring things back if you find that you need them. But if there's something in there that you don't think you need, or if you're even questioning if you need it, see how you go without it. Um, because that will go a long way towards cutting that down and making it much easier for new members to come in and follow what's expected of them. The other thing that I will mention is that that text is small. Um, like, I find that quite hard to read. But I can't find. There it is. Nope. Oh. Okay. So I would bump that up to 12 at the least. Possibly 13. Um, because I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling to read that. And a different template, um, you don't need this sort of thing. You don't need the borders. You don't need a big red left border. Like, you take that out and it spreads out quite nicely. And it doesn't look less good. It just the focus has to be on being able to read. Because if you can't read things, you can't respond to them. Therefore, you kind of lose the point of roleplay. Um, so yeah, breaking this up a little bit, bring the text size up, um, and yeah, just think about how you can group things in a way that mean you can cover more things more easily. So you got your timeline. And this is good. This could probably benefit from a bit of formatting as well. Put those in bold or some heading sort of styles. But there's nothing wrong with it as it is. It's just really organizing that information in a way that doesn't overwhelm people. And dot points and lists and really getting rid of anything that isn't absolutely central to the running of the board is the best way to do that. So that's all of your information, which is not a lot. It's really not. Like you've got your plot, you've got your rules. There's not much else to really cover. You got your application template. That looks pretty nifty. How does it look filled out? Okay. It's quite complex. Personally, I don't like the whole tabbed things. Like, I really don't. I find them quite hard to navigate. I like to have everything there in front of me, especially on a forum. I find that to be that's what I love about forums, is that I don't have to tab through things. And they can be a bit challenging in terms of mobile users as well, where things are a bit less compatible. Um, so yeah, it's a beautiful template. No, go away. It's a beautiful template, but um, possibly not as functional as you'd really want it to be. There's nothing wrong with oh, this is a shipper. Is this what a shipper app is? Okay. I have no idea what that even is, so that's a whole thing. Um, Finished applications. Okay, I'm a little bit lost. Ah, approved. Okay, I am quite lost. I'm not gonna lie. This could be part of. See, these are all very cool, but in a lot of ways, quite pointless. Um, Absolutely gorgeous template and a lot of really cool coding there, but I just all I want when I'm looking at something like this is just simplicity. I want to be able to read down it and be like, okay, that's the character. I know the character now. Like it's really cool. I just don't see the point of these templates. Not for what we do. And on a site that's so nice and simple in its presentation, it does feel a bit out of out of sync with what you've got. Um, and then you got your claims, which are cool. And there's a lot of claims there, but there's nothing wrong with that either. So you've got a lot of things that are being built well here. I will say that it does look a little on the unfinished side, and I think that might be where you're really struggling, because you've got things like that not tying in with the grander color scheme. Um, the shippers, are they all the same, or they're quite complex? Like they're really complex. Um, I would be downright overwhelmed writing all that information. But, that's probably just me being me. I wouldn't know how to fill half of these in. Like, element. I'm pretty sure that my main character's element is beer. But yeah, it's really cool. It's just I don't really understand the point of a lot of this. And you may be coming up against the same sort of lack of understanding in guests as well. Like you've got a really nice site here, but I think in terms of the templates, you are overcomplicating it. Um, because yeah, you've got such a nice simple rules and information. Plot, let's go. Um, so I think you're at a bit of a crossroads where you need to decide what path you want to go down, whether you want to continue with the feature heavy, awesome, beautiful templates that sacrifice a little bit of that simplicity and readability, or whether you want to commit to simple and readable and dump the templates in favor of um, just regular blog posts and all that sort of stuff. You can still do a lot of really good stuff without going to these highly coded boxes. My general rule is if it has scroll bars or tabs, I don't want it. Um, I've got a lot of nice room on these posts to do whatever I like, and that's what I intend to do. I don't want anything that's going to scroll. I don't want anything that's going to hide half of the text. Um, and yeah, again, with just be so aware of the font size. It's not so bad when you've got when it's your sub forums sort of things, but when you've got Like this, I can't read. I cannot read that, especially not on that background. Um, and I, I was struggling with the black. I can't read the green over that. That's even harder. So those are things to consider. And then you've got, you could probably widen this out as well. Your wrapper, because 820 is quite narrow. You could make it 9 or even 10. Let's make it 9. Um, and then bring out that. And that sits quite nice. I mean, you'd need to redo your header and all that sort of stuff, but that sits quite nice on my screen, especially with that particular template. Because as you saw before, it was going outside of your wrappers. Um, Between 920 and 1000 pixels is a really good width. It's just, yeah, I think you've got a lot here. You've got a really, really good base for an excellent site. But yeah, you've got a lot of work to do as well. I know that you've been working on it pretty much constantly and you're trying to get it perfect. And there is no such thing as a perfect site. Something that you kind of just I often joke that when I opened Tally, I basically threw a couple of chairs inside a building and opened the doors and called it a restaurant. Um, and from that day onward, I've been rearranging the chairs and tables almost every day, and that's the reality of running a board. Is you're never done. You are absolutely never done. I thought I thought I was pretty happy with the way that things were, and then yesterday decided that no, I'm going to recode all of the. I'm going to completely recode the profiles, and I'm going to completely recode the header because after 10 minutes you're not happy with something. But there are a few areas that, in this particular case, you can definitely address. Um, and a lot of it's going to come down to you deciding what sort of site you want to make and really outlining your personal beliefs as an admin and what you want to achieve. Um, I don't know if you've seen my topic on RPGD, which is it's a discussion topic. It's just on your board philosophy. Um, which is where a lot of us have sort of uh, declared our board philosophies and why we believe in the things that we do. And what I'm getting from your site is that you're a little confused as to what exactly you want to achieve and how you want to achieve it. So I would very much recommend sitting down and having a good think about what you want the board to be, um, the sorts of things that you want to achieve, and the sorts of features that you want to include. If you want to have templates that have scroll bars and tabs, and that's something that is important to you, don't let me stop you. Do not let me stop you. Just because I don't like it, I am one person. I am one crazy girl in Australia, and my opinion at the end of the day means nothing. Um, if you really, really want something, go for it. But I think you need to sit down and work out exactly what it is that you want and how you want to go about it. Like your skin looks fantastic, but it's out of whack with your the templates that you're using and all that sort of thing. So do you need to change the skin up a bit, or do you want to make your templates more simple? Or yeah, really drill down into what it is that you want to do. Um, and you've got a nice long list of claims, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So is that the level of control that you want over the board? Um, so yeah, just really sit down and think about it, and go from there, because what I'm getting here is quite confused. But it's a learning experience as well. Going to JSync, things aren't always as simple as they were on pro boards either. It's a learning curve. I am still distracted by this spinny thing. Uh, I apologize. Oh, you've got modals. I don't understand modals either. Like, I really don't. Um, because you don't know when there's something new to look at. So they kind of get ignored. Um, that's my issue with them. I'll look at those in a second. Because yeah, you don't know what's new to look at with modals. They're just pretty little icons. Like I wouldn't click them to find out the newest information unless someone was like, "Hey, there's an announcement up. You should read it." So let's see if there's anything that I've missed. I read the plot, rules, canons. Wrong one. Don't mind me. I've got clumsy fingers today. Canons. So those are cool. I mean, it looks good. When you're using images, be wary of the proportions of them. So you got quite a tall image there in a square box, which means that Harry looks like he's been on Weight Watchers for far too long. Um, and in this case, you've got a wide image in a square box, which means that Ginny looks like she's been stretched from either end. If you have a perfectly square image in those, they will display as they're supposed to. Um, so one way to get around that is to just chuck them in Photoshop, get your cropping tool, drag it over, hold down shift so that it does a perfect square, and select the bit that you want and crop the photo to that. And that way you won't get these sort of warped pictures, which can be a bit of a problem. So that's another thing you might want to adjust. And I like that you've just used regular posts for these. You could use templates. You could make your own template. I have, as I showed you on Tally, I have a very simple template. It consists purely of this header style and this header style. This is just a block quote. This is just an unordered list. And I do them up in HTML as I go. So yeah, it's just big header, small header, and I use those on every documentation that I've got. So there's consistency, but it's also flexible enough that I can change it around. Like here, we've got, oh, this uses a table as well, but you've got the same header, the same small header, and then the tables below, because I love tables almost as much as I love lists. Um, then you go into face claims. Again, same header again. It creates a bit of consistency and just, yeah, really reinforces what I would call our brand. So that's something to think about, and it's really quite easy to implement as well. Once you've got your CSS classes set up, you can create templates for whatever you like without even hardly thinking about it. And they're nice, they're simple, they're easy, they're readable, and they fit in with the board style. And if you do decide to use multiple skins, you can skin them differently according to whatever skin people have selected. So that's another thing to think of, because a lot of your templates that you're using don't really work well together. They're all very different. Um, so yeah, I would consider changing those up. I know that you've just changed them up. I am so sorry. But I would consider changing those up and getting something a bit more cohesive going together. Like I said, the more I look at, the more I look, the more confused the site seems to be, and I think that's the vibe that people are getting as well. But otherwise, you've got a lot here that's going. It's a really good base. You've got an awesome base here. So stick with it. I know that it's very important to you. Please stick with it. But yeah, that's as much as I can really advise at this point. I would probably hide these in a sub forum and get rid of the trash can. The trash can's terrible. No one loves a trash can. Um, but yeah, I usually hide my archives in here somewhere. Put advertising at the bottom normally. That's what I do. But yeah, I don't think that the problem is that you need to flesh out the forums more. I think you just need to sit down and decide for yourself how you're going to make all of those templates tie in together, and what you really want to achieve as the admin of this board. You've got a really good start here, but I can understand why some people will come along and have a look and not really feel that it's quite there yet. So I wish you all the best of luck. I hope this was helpful. I feel like I've been a horrible person tonight, um, but I also always promise that I'll be honest, and I have been honest with you. Um, so please don't take offense to anything. I think you've got an awesome thing going here, and I can't wait to see it take off. So yeah, best of luck, and thank you for getting a review from me, even though you probably hate me now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Cheers, mate.